Hello and welcome to Clapboard Reviews. Here's my take on Man of Steel. Kal-El is born on planet Krypton that looks an awful lot like Pandora from Avatar. His father, Jor-El, tells the Barbed Wire Council that Krypton is close to exploding, and before he can tell them his plans, General Zod crashes the party and takes Jor-El prisoner. But Zod doesn't realize that Jor-El was once Robin Hood.
But what would you say, or else we'll put out your lights?
He retrieves the Hamlet skull and is, once again, surrounded by Zod's men.
Jor-El, by the authority of General Zod, surrender the Codex.
And kneel! He escapes, of course, and sends his son to Earth. But more on that later. I'm so angry I'll stab the nearest person! So Jor-El is dead, and Zod and his lackeys are banished to the Phantom Zone.
Isn't it awfully nice to have a penis? Isn't it frightfully good to have a dong?
And apparently Kal-El spent 30 years in that pod because we immediately see him as a man, and he's already saving people. Oh right, this is a Nolan story, so we're told the entire backstory through flashbacks. That sounds familiar. He washes up somewhere up north, either by Aquaman or those whales, just in time to see a bus go by. I was on a bus once. It did not end well. After working in a bar and doing the quietest total destruction of company property ever, we see our hero in the Arctic where the military are investigating something strange they found in the ice. And who better to report this than Pulitzer Prize winning author Lois Lane, who does what no other Lois Lane has done before. Learn the identity of Superman and actually remember it. Seriously, memory kiss? She writes about her experience, but her boss, Perry White, refuses to print it, so she goes behind his back and has a guy that I swear is a reference to WikiLeaks posts it. While all this is happening, Clark Kent meets his ghost dad, learns about his home planet, finally gets his alien underwear, and flies around the world. Lois eventually tracks him to his hometown, and he tells her that the reason he's hiding is because his father believed people would reject him. This leads us to another flashback to the day when Jonathan Kent, who was also Robin Hood once,
We're men in tights.
sacrificed himself during a tornado storm. I'm just gonna skip over the details of this because this death was lame in every sense of the word. Lois agrees to keep Clark's secret, but that comes at a bad time because Zod,
I will find him!
orbits around Earth and threatens Clark to turn himself in or the people will suffer. Lois gets kidnapped and Clark tries to get answers from the only place that can help him.
It's Jesus! It's Jesus! It's Jesus!
Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith first. The trust part comes later.
This convinces Clark to reveal himself to the military and he persuades them to trust him. Feora greets them and also takes Lois with them. Because the plot demands it! Obey the plot! They meet Zod. But because Clark spent his whole life on Earth, he doesn't take kindly to Kryptonian atmosphere. Yeah, that was kind of stupid on your part, Kryptonians. They do some kind of mind probe and Zod basically tells him that once they get the Hamlet skull, they'll kill every Earthling and terraform Earth into a new Krypton. That's not gonna bite him back in the ass, right? Lois is thrown into a cell that conveniently has a controller port for the stick that Clark gave to her. The plots will be done!
Where did you come from?
The command came as late. Thanks to you, I'm uploading into the ship's mainframe.
This causes Jor-El to go all viral up in this ship.
To your right, fire. Behind you. Secure yourself inside the open pod. Safe travels, Miss Lane. Move your head to the left.
Clark gets free and his father gives him a final parting message.
We wanted you to learn what it meant to be human first. So that one day, when the time was right, you could be the bridge between two peoples. You can save her, Cal. You can save all of them.
It's Jesus! It's Jesus! It's Jesus!
He rescues Lois,
Because he's Superman!
then causes some damage to Zod for a very simple reason. And causes him to go into sensory overload.
My parents taught me to hone my senses, Zod. Focus on just what I wanted to see. Without your helmet, you're getting everything.
And I'm going to skip over the action scene because the only thing you need to know is that it is freaking awesome. The military finally figure out that Superman is a good guy, and he goes back to check on his mother just as Lois comes by to tell him how to defeat Zod. Good timing because Zod puts Operation Terraform into action. Luckily enough, the military begins putting Cancel Operation Terraform into action with the help of Superman's babycraft. He heads off to stop the one at the southern end, while everyone tries to not get crushed on the northern end. And since it's a Superman movie, it's no surprise that he stops the machine. With Operation Terraform a no-go, Superman crashes Zod's ship and kills every Matrix baby on board just as the military recreates the black hole, trapping the bad guys and the brave souls in the Phantom Zone for a second time.
Are they gone?
I think so.
And once again, the day is saved. Thanks to... Oh right, I forgot about Zod. With no Krypton to rebuild, he does the one thing that any grown man would do. Throw a temper tantrum. This leads to another awesome action scene, and what is considered one of the most controversial moments in the movie. Superman actually killing someone. If I'm going to critique at least one thing about this movie, it would have to be that scene. Now, I'm going to admit that growing up as a kid, I never cared for Superman because I had Batman. But I knew a little bit about Superman to know that both he and Batman would never kill anyone. So, when I saw that scene, I'll admit I was shocked. But then I started thinking about it. This was probably the reason why I never identified with Superman like I did with Batman or Spider-Man. Both those characters experienced tragic events, ones that are very real and very traumatic to a child. And it was those events that made them better people, and made them consider the decisions they made or will make in the future. So Superman breaking Zod's neck was in fact a very bold choice. Superman has been seen ever since his first incarnation as a morally upstanding citizen, representing truth, justice, and the American way. And in all honesty, you can only rise after you've fallen. But that's immediately forgotten in the next scene when he destroys a military drone and one soldier comments on how hot he is. Shows what you really think is important, Mr. Snyder. So now the people know about Superman and that he's here to protect the Earth. But I can't help to think that there's at least one loose end that needs to be tied up.
Lois Lane. Welcome to the planet.
Glad to be here, Lois.
Oh, that's right, Clark Kent getting a job at the Daily Planet. The circle is now complete. And so is this review. See you next time, everyone.
Could be carrying some kind of alien pathogen.
Been here for 33 years, Doctor.